Hi everyone, it's Jessica. Thanks for being with me here today. It's the second Friday of the month, which means that I am doing a monthly YouTube sketch hop with some friends. I'm excited because I think these 4 photos that I have of my daughter's 13th birthday from this summer are going to work out perfectly for the sketch this month. They have some really fun, bright colors in them, and the sketch this month was chosen by my friend Julie from Crafting with Julie, and it shows 2 3x4 photos, but I'm going to use a flip flap from Close to My Heart in order to add in those 2 extra pictures. Now, it was a lot of fun digging through my paper stash, and I found some oldies but goodies here. These are a whole bunch of older paper collections from Close to My Heart that were all birthday themed. And so I just had a lot of fun kind of going through them and pulling out papers that I thought might work. This one right off the bat caught my eye because I really loved all of the fun colors in it. And then I thought that I was on a roll, like kind of grabbing some other papers that had the same colors that were in that happy birthday paper. And I thought that those would work really well to put together with that sketch that Julie had sent out to us. And so at first, I thought that I knew what I was doing. But as soon as I started getting to the point where I needed to actually cut my papers and figure out which papers were going where, I ran into a bit of a trouble. I don't know if anyone else has ever had this problem before where you think you've got a plan, and then it just all sort of falls apart. There was nothing that I could put together here that really was jumping out at me or making me feel happy. I was looking at that sketch and I'm like, okay, I need, this piece and that piece, and they have to layer together just so. But no matter which cardstock colors or pattern papers that I used or pulled, I just really couldn't get anything that felt right to me. And so I spent way too much time messing around with this. And spoiler alert, I'm not going to use any of these papers. I had to finally ditch it all, walk away, and come back to it with a fresh start. It was very frustrating. So as I was digging back through that paper stack again, I saw this one here that had all of these pink and orange balloons on it. And, I liked how my daughter's shirt was pink and that matched that paper. I had thought originally I wanted the pink in her shirt to be the pop of pink or the pop of color. And I didn't want it to be matchy-matchy. But as soon as I pulled that one out, I thought, oh my goodness, yes, this just kind of feels better. I wanted it to have that light and fun and airy feel to it. And that was that was the vibe it was giving me. So instead, I went digging through some old Mix-in packs from Close to My Heart until I found a bunch of pattern papers in the same pinks and oranges. Now, off camera, I did edge distress this with some raspberry ink and do a little bit of stitching. On my photo mat here in Nectarine cardstock, I did use my little sanding tool just to scratch off the color from the edge so that it has a white border to it. And now I'm ready to start kind of figuring a few things out. I like this one here too. It's got a little bit more of that pink, and I'm just really hoping to bring in some pops of orange. So this is definitely more along the lines of what I had in my head when I was first kind of envisioning this layout. I wanted it to feel airy and bright. And even though my first paper choices were really pretty, they just were not giving me that vibe. Now I'm going to blame it on my paper troubles, but I think I was a little bit flustered at this point because I forgot that I had 2 more photos that were going to be attached to the page in a flip flap, and also that I had a video that I wanted to include on this layout. I did a video when we were singing happy birthday to her, and I made sure to kind of pan around the kitchen so that way I could get at least everybody in there for a quick second. And I thought that that would be a fun video to include in the layout so that way looking back she could see, aunts, uncles, great aunts, great uncles, grandparents, siblings, cousins, the whole family that was gathered around to celebrate her birthday. And so if you stay tuned till the end, you will see how I managed to kind of accommodate some of those things that had slipped my mind at this point. But for right now, I am just trying to cut my pieces of paper so that I can follow that pattern. Now in the pattern, it does show these 3 strips of paper all hitting at the same length, but I decided to vary mine and layer them over each other just a little bit. In order to cut my dovetails, I did give a very gentle bend so that I could cut both ends at once to make sure that they matched exactly. I just did a little cut up the center, and then I came from each corner to the top of that cut in order to make the dovetail. And that is one of my favorite ways to do it. I find that that is the easiest way. I used to spend all sorts of time like measuring the halfway point and everything, and this is much easier and faster. And then I'm going to edge distress all of these with a little bit of that raspberry pink ink color just to make them pop off the page. So here I've gone ahead and glued everything down. I do love the stitching around that one pattern paper. I just did that with my sewing machine and I ran around it 3 times. And then I went through my birthday stamp collection, just looking for anything that I might be able to use for titles or embellishments on this page. I like this one. It is from the Let's Party collection from Close to My Heart, and it has the scripty happy birthday die cut that I think is a lot of fun. And it does actually have some balloons on it as well. And at first I thought I might use some balloons for my embellishments because, you know, they're in that pattern paper, but in the end I don't end up making any balloons whatsoever. This also is from that Let's Party stamp collection, and it came with some big die cut numbers, and I thought that it would be fun to cut out the number 13 and layer it over that orange circle that I have. And when I was kind of testing it out and I had those laying on there, I was like, I really like that silver color. So I decided to die cut that out of some silver foil paper. I just have this in my stash, and I used this stripe paper here and cut one of the stripes off and used it to get my number 13. I just liked those die cut letters. They were metal, and I was inspired by that silver color. And so that was how I came up with that idea. I didn't want to waste any of that silver foil paper, so I did cut a few more out of white cardstock, and I'm going to glue those together just to stack them up for a little bit of added dimension. But after I get all of that glued together, I'm kind of looking at this, and I had thought that I wanted to put that circle with the number 13 in the bottom right corner of my photos. I really liked that there, but that was when I remembered, oh my gosh, I have to put my flip flap in this spot, and once it lays over the top, that's going to kind of ruin the effect of things. So I need to move that circle away from the right side of the page, get it off of that right photo. So instead I move it over here and I start kind of playing with this birthday title. I only had a little bit of raspberry cardstock left. It really did kill me trying to use it up. It's fun to dig into your stash, but sometimes when your stash of paper is running low, it can be a little painful too. So I die cut it out of some Ballerina cardstock too, just so that I could layer it up a little bit. And then I thought it might be fun to actually glue it with a little bit of an offset. So I'm going to fuss around here with this 13 and the birthday, and I think that that's probably what I'm going to end up doing for my title. I will add on to it. There's where I glued it together with a little bit of that offset so that lighter pink shows out from underneath. I'm going to add on to it by putting the TH for the 13th up there on that circle as well. And then I want it to say happy 13th birthday. So when I went back through those paper packs, I found this tiny little sticker in the perfect colors that just said the word happy on it. And so I kind of messed around for a minute of where to put that, but I'm not sure just yet. So I'm going to go ahead and start kind of getting some of this stuff glued down that I know that I do want where I want it to go. So there's my 13th and the birthday. And then I'm back again to that word happy. I didn't know if I wanted it off here to the side. I did kind of like it over here, but then it didn't really read. It just kind of read happy birthday with the 13th off to the side. And then when I tested it right here, I just kind of tacked it down lightly to see what I thought. And then I was like, no, I don't want it there. And when I picked it up, because I had inked the edges, it actually left a little bit of that dark raspberry ink color on my white cardstock. So I was like, well, I guess I'm putting it back down and that's where it wants to be. So I just left it there. And then I had this little fun hat sticker that I thought would be fun to stick on the page as well. So I kind of mess around with that for a little bit. And then because I had cut my number 13 out of that silver foil paper, I realized I needed to bring in some more of that silver foil elsewhere. So these are just two little pieces that I cut out of a scrap piece of that paper. It was actually like a scalloped square die cut, and I just kind of ran it through twice so that I could get the top edge of it. And slide it underneath my photo mats, kind of offset a little bit just so I can make 2 extra points in my visual triangle for that silver foil. And then I'm back here to that fun party hat. I play around with moving it in a couple different places. I wasn't sure. In the end, I'm going to put a little bit of foam tape behind it and stick it on top of my number 3, like the number 3 is partying. I did also put that other sticker up there in the top corner. I didn't really love it, but honestly, the colors were so perfect, and I found it on one of my sticker sheets, and I thought, you know, if I don't use it now, who knows when or if I ever will. It's kind of perfect for this page, so I went ahead and put it down there. Okay, so this is what I've got. I added a couple of sparkle gems on there too. And like I said, I needed to do my journaling and my video. Now my video I just uploaded to my YouTube channel in an unlisted link, and then I printed it as a QR code, so that way anyone who is looking at my scrapbook can just scan that QR code, and then they can see the video of us singing happy birthday to my daughter. But I want to hide all of that. So I'm going to create this little hidden pocket on the back side of the page. Now what I was showing you there is that was actually just a piece of trash from the mail. I had recently gotten a lawn fawn order, and they send these little postcards in with your order, and they're made out of really nice thick cardstock that have a shiny coating to them. So I thought, you know, rather than throwing that away, let me use that as the backing piece for this hidden pocket because it's nice and sturdy. And I felt too, because it had that plastic coating on it, that it might also help my little journaling piece slide a little bit better when it's coming in and out of this spot that I'm creating on the page. So I just used a craft knife and a little mat in the back to protect my desk there. And I just cut a slit big enough for that little journaling spot to slide in behind where my photos are going to go. So now when I flip this over, at first I was like, oh, I stamped celebrating you at the top, but I kind of like just having that celebrating show. I flipped this over to the back, and I'm going to just tack it there for a second so that I can kind of play with this. And then this is where I'm going to create that pocket with that little postcard thing. I realized that that's not going to work. I'm going to need that postcard to kind of come over to the right side here so that it's just a little bit past where that slit is. That way, when that journaling spot is coming in and out of the page, it's not getting stuck on anything. So I'm going to have to make sure that it says celebrating you on the front side. It's going to stick out a little bit more. And then you can see here, I actually bumped this up just a little bit with a couple of pieces of scrap cardstock. I just kind of created that little U there with a few extra pieces of cardstock just to give it a little more dimension, again, to help that journaling spot slide in and out easier. So now that I have all of that glue on, I'm just going to layer it over the top, like I said, kind of covering that slit. That way there's no doubt that that journaling spot will end up in the pocket, and I'm going to give it a good burnish and come over here to the front and just kind of there we go. And now you can see that celebrating you. And then when I go to put this page into my scrapbook, I will cut a little slit in my page protector, and then that journaling piece will be sitting on the outside of the page. And that's how people will know to pull it out and read the journaling and then scan the QR code for the video. So I hope that you guys enjoyed watching today and felt inspired or got a couple of ideas for how you could use some hidden journaling. And definitely make sure that you follow the playlist in the description box down below so that you can see what all of my other friends did with this exact same sketch. And by the way, a happy birthday to my friend Julie from Craft with Julie. The reason reason that she picked birthday for our theme this month is because October is her birthday month. So happy birthday, my friend. Thanks for watching, guys. Happy crafting. Bye.